Welcome to the lowdown, the aftermath on Tuesday. I don't know about you, mate, I'm knackered.
Oh, shatter, mate. Yeah, it wasn't a quiet one, was it? It was quite hectic to be a Bournemouth fan, but yeah, it felt quite rare, but it was nice. It was a bit of excitement, which we probably needed after a few bad results. So, not bad results, bad performances, sorry. But yeah, it was a really exciting night, and I really enjoyed it, mate. We obviously done the show, and it was really good. We had some great guests on, didn't we?
Great guests. Just want to say thank you to everyone that took part on the show, but also in chat as well. There were loads of chats. There were actually 1,322 live chat messages during that show, which emphasises the importance of the super chat, actually. So next, when you're on, if you want your message on air, you can super chat, and what that does also is support the channel too. Never known a deadline day like it. I think maybe we've signed 2 or 3 on the same day before, but never 5.
No, and normally that's kind of that summer window, isn't it? Maybe on the last day. I remember one in the summer where we had Lee Tomlin, Max Gradle kind of all coming quite late. But I was at like one of their fans forum things they did upstairs at the club, and I remember Eddie saying, no, not commenting on Max Gradle, he's not coming, and then he was outside. So yeah, Eddie liked to get his business done earlier, didn't he? So we're probably a bit more used to that. But yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see whether it was a bit panicky or not. I mean, some people would say it was, but equally, performances haven't been great. We've said we need some players to get us over the line, and the board have backed Scott. So, you know, no excuses now, I think. Some really good additions.
Once again, we're at the Pear at Parley. What a pub. Not only for drinks, but for food as well. Had a meal here last weekend, and the food was absolutely exquisite. Honest to God, coming there again in the next couple of weeks. It's in West Parley. We certainly advise you come down, and they saw that we were here and tagged us on their Facebook post, which was a bit of a surprise. Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, really good of them. Yeah, like I say, I do really like the pub. I've been going for a long time, and great. I mean, the size of it out the back as well, where we are. Yeah. It's. I mean, you've taken some photos and that before for previous shows, and just shows how great it is. But yeah, really nice place. Really like it down there. Always nice to do a little show here, isn't it?
Always nice to do a show here. So look, let's talk about the transfer window as a whole. Before we do that, we'll talk about the bits we couldn't cover last night, the stuff that happened on or after 11 o'clock. And some of the stories included Orjan Nyland. Yep. Looks like he's going back. Yeah,
well, it sounds like he's kind of been released, I guess is the way to say it. Haven't worked for him, has it? He's got an injury, and I think the club have allowed him to kind of train and do his kind of rehabilitation or whatever you want to call it at the club, which is good of him. It's a shame. It didn't work. He had 2 games. The Norwich game was obviously one we don't want to speak about, and even the Oval one. Oh no, he had Hull as well, didn't he? I nearly forgot Hull, which, to be fair, he kept a clean sheet. The Oval one, we both said he didn't look convincing, did he? Just didn't work. It made sense at the time. We needed someone to come in goal and maybe be that backup to Travers. Hasn't worked, and obviously with a player that we signed in Freddie Woodman, it means he's surplus to requirements. So wish him all the best, but just didn't work for us, mate.
By the time this video goes out, possibly it will have been confirmed that Zeno, Ibsen, Rossi is also joining Dundee.
Yeah.
Who I think Dundee and Dundee United have got the closest grounds in proximity in the UK, a stone's throw away, literally, but could be going up there. And to be fair, you can see why, given the players that we've brought in this window.
Yeah, and I think it would have been a real shame if he were just to go back and just play under 23s football or whatever. I think he's shown that he's a good player and he could do with some minutes. I didn't know whether that would be kind of maybe League One. He's obviously going back to Scotland. Obviously he's been there before with Kilmarnock, so he's probably been seen a bit more out there and rated a bit higher. So I'm just pleased that he can go there and play some football, to be honest, because whatever happens this season, if we end up being successful, we will say he played a big part in that at the start of the season when we really needed him. So yeah, I'm glad he's going to go get some football, because it would have been hard for him to get minutes here. So yeah, hopefully that one looks like it's going to go over the line, just in terms of paperwork and stuff like that with the Scottish window and things. So
and I tell you what, they're shipping goals, mate. They've got the worst goal difference in the Scottish Premiership. They're 11th at the moment, so they're in the relegation zone. They've got a game in hand over Ross County, but even if they win that, they'll still be 2 points behind. A losing sequence of 4 games. They stopped the rot with a draw, but it looks like they could do with some defensive prowess. And look, he was a player at the start of the season that we had to chuck in, and we thought, who is this guy? I haven't seen much of him, but he really impressed early doors, didn't he?
Credit to him, credit to Scott for giving him the chance, and credit to the, in Scotland, it was obviously good for him getting their minutes out of Kilmarnock, and I think he's even been known to play right back there, but come in centre half with different partners sometimes. You know, he's played with Meps, he played with Kelly. Obviously, it's before kind of Cahill come in, and he was a rock really. There's a few shaky ones as you'd expect, but overall he was pretty consistent for us. So yeah, he's played his part, and I really hope he has a good loan out there. And who knows, with it being a low deal, he still might have a future here, mate. He's still young, and we like what we see, don't we? So yeah, looking forward to seeing how he gets on out there.
And Morgan Rogers looks like he's going to stay after all. I thought he was going to go back and then obviously be loaned out to somewhere else. I think, who was it, Barnsley or some other club looked like that. Was it Blackpool? Was it Blackpool? Yeah, but that didn't happen. Not sure if that's connected with the Josh Bowler situation there. Perhaps it is. If he went, maybe there would have been a swap in terms of that. But he's staying with us. But then we've got a very... we've got too many numbers, haven't we?
Yes, it's odd. I think if all the loan players are available, they can't all be in the matchday squad. I think one would have to miss out. But, you know, I think there will be times where probably mostly it'll be Morgan Rogers misses out, but Leif Davis might not be needed for some when we get players back. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I really thought he'd go back to City and they'd send him somewhere else.
There's rumours with Hibs as well, wasn't there?
Hibs was another one. I think they wanted more of a permanent. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe it was too late. But it sounded like Blackpool... We're thinking if they lost Bowler, have you said? They were looking at him to fill that void, and there was talk about us even offering them Gavin Kilkenny, Blackpool as well. But I think they needed a winger, and it just sounded like it was all a little bit too much at the end, and we couldn't quite get Bowler over the line. So we've ended up keeping hold of Morgan Rogers, and I mean he's probably got one more game. He could potentially play at the weekend, I guess, against Boreham Wood. That might be a chance for him, but other than that, I don't see how he's going to get near it. Because we've got so many numbers in there, but I guess Stanislas is still injured, so he's a body, isn't he? But yeah, it sounds like one that if there was a few more hours, I reckon it would have got done. It just sounded like it was left a little bit too late and they couldn't get done. But see what he can do, I guess.
Yeah, see what he can do. So the day started, and Freddie Woodman was confirmed too in the afternoon, but there were lots of people tweeting early morning that he's going to be joining us. Goalkeeper on loan from Newcastle United. It was great to chat to Beth, great chat to Roger, both involved in YouTube stuff up there for Newcastle United, and seems like we've got a solid keeper. Just remains to be seen how much he'll be involved, because Mark Travers has been very, very good this season. Yeah,
it's a really interesting one. I mean, we needed to get a goalkeeper because of what we've said about Nyland. So it looked like, and Woodman was clearly one that Parker's always wanted. He obviously done well at Swansea last season, and we would have got him in the summer if it wasn't for COVID cases and stuff at Newcastle. So I get it. Equally, there's no way he's coming to sit on the bench. But I don't see how Mark Travers could be on the bench, the form he's on. So it's going to be really interesting. A lot of people, myself included, think that it should be Travers' jersey to lose.
Yeah,
I think Woodman should play at the weekend, like Nyland would have. But Travers should be in, and it should be up to him to keep hold of the shirt. Having said that, spoke to a few guys, didn't we? Chris Temple, Jacob Cantwell. It seems like Parker's a massive admirer, and the main thing that we kept hearing last night was that he's so good with his feet. Yeah. And that's what Scott wants. And I guess Travers, I wouldn't say he's bad with his feet.
Yeah,
it's not something he's known for.
I only remember him making like one or maybe two mistakes, and that was against Luton, I think. Where, you know, thankfully we weren't punished for it, but we were sort of overplaying it out from the back. He was playing very, very tightly, and I think there are other matches where Nyland's made kind of more errors, because obviously he's landed us in it. But Travers, I think, has been exceptional for us, and look, it'll be interesting to see how he fares with us, and probably starting against Boreham Wood, you can imagine.
Yeah, I would have thought so. He's not cup tied, so Woodman can play, and as I say, otherwise Nyland would have played. He played in the last round. It's going to be an interesting one. I said to you off air, I think my worry is that Woodman comes straight in, and then as a fan base we will feel really sorry for Travers, and it only takes one error from Woodman and everyone will be on his back, on Parker's back. Why did you drop Travers? And that's not Woodman's fault.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It is. So we'll back him if he comes in with feeling for Travers. I hope that Woodman plays at the weekend, plays well, but Travers has the jersey against Birmingham. That's what I hope. But we'll see. We've got two good goalkeepers, so we can't complain too much, mate.
No, can't complain too much. Then fast forward then to 4 o'clock, and quite a surprise in terms of not many people were chatting about him too early on. Nat Phillips on loan from Liverpool until the end of the season, and it was really good yesterday to chat to Ross Chandley from the Red Men, which is the original fan channel. You know, where AFTV and the United Stand are absolutely huge. I mean, the Red Men are such a big channel that they were the pioneers of this whole genre that we're in right now. And Ross is Liverpool through and through, and knows Nat Phillips, and it was great to tap into his knowledge about him. And it sounds like, from what I can see, he's going to be a shoo-in, and he's basically one that could replace Gary Cahill from the off. And with his interview that he did with Neil Perrott on AFCB TV, it sounded like he's ready to hit the ground running. So this is not one of those signings that's going to turn up to Dean Court injured. He can start straight away. So this is a promising one, and as we concocted our starting 11, we put him in.
We did. I think Gary Cahill's form of late hasn't been great, and you worry if he's carrying something and maybe playing through that pain barrier. Mep's come in and done well, but he's now injured. So yeah, the interesting thing is, it was interesting when we were talking, because I felt like, why have a Premier League club not got him? Newcastle could do with him. Watford could do with him. They were all rumoured. There were so many clubs rumoured. I think there was teams in Serie A.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And what I gauged from it, because I was trying to think, why have we got him? And to me, it seems like Jurgen Klopp wants to play from the back. That's maybe what Nat Phillips needs to develop about his game. He's a big centre-half, wins headers, and he wants him to be better playing from the back. And I wonder if he looked at the style of Bournemouth and the way that we like to play from the back, and thought that's the best way of his development coming on, is him going to Bournemouth and playing in that style. We've got a decent record, repertoire with Liverpool. I mean, hasn't always gone well, but we're happy with Dom at the moment. So yeah, I think that's a big one. It's a big coup that seemed to come a little bit blindsided, didn't it? But I think that could be a really good signing, mate. I think he's probably Premier League quality, actually. So yeah, that could be a really good one. If him and Kelly can form a good partnership, we're going to end up thinking, I don't know how Kay was going to get in his team, which shows the depth of the squad, mate. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. It's the first UK-based loan switch of his career, because he spent the 1920 season with Stuttgart, and he's the son of former Bolton Wanderers star Jimmy Phillips, which I didn't know. He was part of the Liverpool Academy ahead of the 2016-17 season, following a successful trial, and he became a member of Jurgen Klopp's first team squad for the 18-19 season, and then was a member of the travelling party for the Champions League final in 2019. He's a highly regarded defender, and he was our second transfer deadline day signing. So that was at 4:00, and then it all went a bit quiet. We started to prepare our live show, mate, and
we did. And it seems like the club were kind of waiting for us to go live, really, which is good of them. So I appreciate that. We all knew murmurings, and we expected more to come in. There's just nothing over the dotted line when we went live, was there? So, but then one happened just as we were going live.
Just as we pressed go live, the titles have just finished. Just before I speak, Tom nudges me, says, "Sam, check this out." Couldn't even say deadline properly. I think I pretended deadline day or something. And then there it was. That wasn't a well-kept secret yesterday. I think it was expected, and he was posing for selfies. I think there's one with AFCB Adam on Twitter. Great photo of them outside Dean Court there. And he gives us a different option, doesn't he? His goal record this season hasn't been great. Last season it was very good, but he's certainly going to give us something else, and I'm really looking forward and excited to see how Scott Parker's going to utilise him, because there are a couple of things he could do. Yeah,
as at the time we wanted more and we got more, and he was someone that I feel like me and you kind of spoke in the summer about. Well, I really like him. I remember seeing him in the Euros. I think he scored in their opening game. Yeah. It might have been Switzerland, maybe. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And he was a real handful for Wales. I think that's probably played a part in it. Is he probably thinks I need to stay in that squad. They've got good players, attacking players. We've got a few of them, and with Gareth Bale and people like that, he probably wants to. He's not young, so he probably thinks this is my best chance to get up to the big time as well. Yeah. He's been in non-league, and he's had that real kind of coming up the leagues sort of feel to him, and he's done his business. But I like the player. Whether it works in our style currently, maybe not. But in terms of him as a footballer in the Championship, I think he's really good. It gives us a, say it quietly, plan B. And to be honest, I probably see him at the moment being a 65-minute man if we need something. But it gives us flexibility to be able to go 2 up top. We keep saying, myself in particular, that Dom's very isolated at times.
Absolutely.
Dom's certainly somebody who likes to get on the ball. If he wants to drop deep, go and get on the ball, and we leave Kieffer Moore out there occupying centre halves, it could work. In games, we've gone to a back 3 a lot of the time to try and chase. Given an option like that, we can maybe put some more balls in the box, but experienced Championship striker, mate.
And we saw how Dom Solanke thrived when he had someone alongside him in that lockdown season where Sam Surridge came up alongside him. And you can draw comparisons with Sam Surridge. A lot of people have said that, pace-wise, Kieffer Moore is very similar. He's joined us for a similar fee. It's basically rising up to 5 million. And really interested to see when his interview lands. It probably has already by the time you're watching it on AFCB TV, and to see what he's looking to get out of this, because obviously he's going to look to make an impact straight away, and if he does, fantastic. I think there's a lot of players now that want to prove themselves, and if anything, right, there are players like Jake Nancy's going to have to up his game if he wants to start now, because he's got Todd Cantwell breathing down his neck, which is mad to see. I mean, I know Todd Cantwell can play in a number of positions. Dembele, Jamal Lowe. I mean, surely this will make us up our level. Surely
you would have thought so, because like you say, people breathing down each other's necks. We know we had a good squad before this window, but what we've realised probably of late is a few injuries, a few COVID cases, which I think has got a part to play in it, because people you're losing players more often than normal. A few little injuries and illnesses, and suddenly we start looking at our bench and thinking, we've got a lot to change it, especially in forward areas. I thought that, no disrespect to players like Mariah Welsh, who's always coming and done a job, but having him on the bench in games, you think, if Barnsley were to have levelled it or we hadn't have scored, there wasn't a great deal to change it. So yeah, I like that we've got more options up that end of the pitch particularly, and like you say, it's really good to have competition up there. It's also good to be able to think in certain games where hopefully we're a couple of goals ahead, we could maybe give Dom a breather. Hasn't missed, he started every single Championship game, and I mean we know how good Dom is, but I mean Kieffer Moore's one of the best strikers in the Championship in my opinion, so we've got 2 of the best. So yeah, really really good signing. I'm really excited about him actually. I know I can understand why people are a little bit questioning it, especially from the outside, because of his style that he probably prefers. But I really rate the guy, and I think he gets labelled with this target man a little bit too much. I think he's very good with the ball at his feet. He likes to link play. I think he's got more about him than that. So I'm really interested to see what he can bring.
Pressure's really on for Scott Parker now, because he's got the personnel that means we should be going up this season. But if we don't, surely we've now also got the squad that will help us next season as well.
I think we've probably got the squad if we don't go up. We don't want to talk about it too much. Yeah. If we don't go up, I think we've got players that are going to cover players that would probably leave. Personally, I think if we were to go up, I think Jeff Saloba would probably go. We probably wouldn't be able to afford to keep Kale for another season. I think Dom Solanke, people start sniffing about him. Wouldn't be surprised if someone like Newcastle stayed up, a few other people. So now it means that we've probably done our business for the summer, if in a weird way. Yeah. If a few players were to leave, we've kind of gone, well, Dom's gone, but we have to replace him with Kieffer Moore then. So yeah, interesting, but hopefully that won't be the case. But mate, the squad is unbelievable. I almost feel like, without thinking too much into it, we could probably put 2 11s out that should be in the top 6. That's incredible. That is incredible. Yeah. And we're not even. I've seen people putting out kind of 2 11s and stuff on Twitter and things like that. Adam Smith's not in any of them because of the injury. Nor Stanislas, nor David Brooks, nor Robbie Brady. Them players aren't getting in 2 11s.
No. Yeah.
It's an unbelievable squad, mate. So yeah, really interested to see how it all comes together.
Yeah, I'm really interested. And you know what? Credit if you can pick a starting 11 for Boreham Wood. Oh my god, if you can do that, make sure you send me the lottery numbers at the same time. So we were on air for half an hour. Mark McAdam was in the throes of conversation, and then Benjamin Bloom interrupts him, shows his phone on screen. There's been another one. Dembele, 8:30 from Peterborough United. He agreed personal terms. He was one of these ones that was a fairly quick turnaround at Dean Court by the sounds of it, and yet another signing. It was one that I wasn't, there are other names that I probably thought were more likely, for instance Tom Lawrence or Joe Rothwell, but we talked about Siriki Dembele in one of our previous videos, almost like a throwaway at the end, like we might get him. Turns out we did, mate.
Yeah, I think the main positive is that we were sniffing around him in the summer, early in this window, So that makes me think Scott Parker's been a long-term admirer, which I always like. It means you can't look at that as being a panic, in my opinion, because we've looked at him for a while. I remember in the summer he was linked as well as Johnson Clark-Harris at Peterborough.
Yep.
I wonder if they were really bargaining, because they're in a bit of a scrap at the bottom and they can't afford to let people go unless they're for the right price for them. I can't pretend I've seen loads of him. Well, I have seen him. Sometimes I thought he's a bit of a trick merchant, do you know what I mean? And then other times I thought, he's got a bit about him, and he's not old. I mean, he's not 20, but he's mid-20s. But he's going to be hungry, and he's going to be someone. He's certainly one of the ones that I think don't walk into the side. He's someone that really adds good competition, and someone that I've looked at him a bit Maxi Gray-ish. I think it might have been Chris Temple that said that as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Someone that, and I'll tell you what, in certain games I thought we could really do with a player. We wanted Rodgers to be, it hasn't quite worked. Someone to come off the bench and just run at people, and just be a bit more direct and frighten the fullback who's probably tiring because they've played 70 minutes, and you're bringing someone on that can run at them, kind of a no fear type player. He looks like that sort of guy. I'm intrigued to see what he's about, and see how much minutes he does play. He's the only one, I believe, out the players that have come in and stuff that's cup tied.
Yes, that's
because
right.
he played for Peterborough, so he won't be about for the weekend. But yeah, be a really interesting one. Like I say, I'm intrigued to see what he's about. He's been highly rated, so yeah. I mean, he was certainly key to Peterborough's promotion, wasn't he?
I certainly wonder where this leaves them in terms of fighting relegation now as well.
Yeah, it's a big blow for Peterborough, definitely.
Well, because Barry Fry said that there is no way we will sell him on transfer deadline day, and he went on to say because that will give us no time to sign a replacement. So, we've disrupted the relegation hopes of some sides. We've maybe disrupted the promotion hopes of some sides without even signing them.
It's weird, isn't it? But I mean, I've got to be honest, I'm sorry for Peterborough, because I tell you what, it was a good away day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but
very good, yeah.
I'm not bothered about mucking up Adrian Durham's side too much.
I think
I said when we kind of spoke about the potential incomings not long ago on a video, I remember saying that it's going to be a real kind of, it's a gamble for them either way. They either say, we're in a relegation scrap, we cannot afford to let one of our better players go, or they go, let's hope we have enough, we can't afford to turn it down. And they've obviously ended up going for the latter. We've obviously pushed them hard enough. It sounds like Dembele wanting the move, which always helps. And that's been key for me. I think all these players seem like they really pushed for a move to Bournemouth, which, whatever you say, I know obviously the sceptics will say it's all money orientated, but a lot of these players had other options, and a lot of these players are on decent money. And I think they've bought into whatever Scott and the club are, and the project, and I think that's a good sign, mate.
So Dembele has made
Dembele.
You love that chant.
Oh,
He's made 24 appearances for the Posh in the Championship this season, scoring 5 goals, providing 2 assists. But he provided a key role in their promotion from League One the previous season, netting 11 and setting up 14 more. So in terms of their bid to stave off relegation, well, they've not been great. The last 5, lost 4 of them and drawn the other. And I referred to players that may be derailing the hopes of staying up. I mean, Norwich City, obviously they've got a battle. They've done well with a couple of wins, but this player, I think some of the fans are a bit unsure where he's at mentally. At 10:45, it went out on Twitter that Todd Cantwell has signed on loan for AFC Bournemouth, a player that many a Canary absolutely love, but most of them admit that he hasn't quite been on it. But a good Todd Cantwell would be really important for them if they're going to stay in the Premier League, but he just doesn't seem mentally on it, and there seem to be reasons for that. However, change of location, change of scenery could just be what he needs.
It's one of them, mate. If we get the best out of Todd Cantwell, I think we'll go up. I think he's that good.
Yeah,
I really do. I can't believe it. It feels like not long ago he was murmured to go into the big boys, Liverpool, things like that. England call-ups, 50 million. Something's happened there. It sounds like something's happened with Farker, who was originally at Norwich at the start of the season, and then when Dean Smith's come in, he probably wants people that are up for the fight a little bit more, and maybe he's thought Todd doesn't seem like he's up for the scrap, and maybe he'll be moved on. But I tell you what, like you say, sometimes at clubs he's been there a long time, and sometimes it gets a little bit stale, need a new challenge. And I mean, if we get Todd Cantwell of the Championship of old, then Jesus, he's a hell of a player, mate. And he's one of them players that I really like watching, because he's got low sense of gravity. He's not lightning, but he's so clever with his feet, and he can play off the left, play off the right, play in the 10, play in the 8.
And we're after game changers.
Yes, and that is what he is.
He's one.
That is what he is, whether it's from the off or off the bench. I think it sounds like because of the lack of football he's had, it might take him a little bit of time to come in. We'll probably be a little bit like, oh, come on, I just want to see him. But
Should we get blonde wigs?
Oh,
I think we should.
Good shout. But he obviously watched us against Norwich earlier in the season and thought these are a good team when we shipped 6. But no, he's someone I really like. He's someone that was certainly a bit of a surprise, the main surprise I would say. But to be honest, if you're saying him or Tom Lawrence or Rothwell, I think this one, it sounds as if when we spoke to a few people that when Todd Cantwell became available, it made more sense, and I get that. I do get that. There's an option to buy, which I think is brilliant, and he certainly played a massive part. Whatever Norwich think of him at the moment, he played a massive part in getting them up. So let's hope he can do it again.
Shall we take our hat off to a certain Mr. Neil Blake, Richard Hughes, everyone in the recruitment department, the media team, everyone at AFC Bournemouth who's brought us this news, whether they were involved in the transfer dealings or whether they were creating the graphics for what was going on yesterday. A very good day for AFC Bournemouth indeed.
I mean, if I'm Neil Blake, I'm getting my missus a new Lamborghini and posting it on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? But no, there's been questions up there from myself, from a lot of fans with things in the past, and right now it's time to say, credit to you, because you've backed our guy and you've given us the best possible chance to gain promotion. So, and without going mad, I know people are saying about, look at Bournemouth going mental in the his parachute payment stuff. Look,
players that we've got rid of and the money that's in the bank.
We've barely spent. I mean, Sam Surridge we got Sam Surridge off the books for over 5 million. And then people forget about Dan Juma going and Begovic off the wage bill. We haven't gone. We've been quite astute, I think, quite clever, quite shrewd in the business we've done. So, as you say, it was a really, really good day and evening for the club, and let's just hope we really kick on there. And I think everyone will forget about the fact that the Barnsley performance wasn't great, because we stopped the rot and now we can kick on, and it's exciting, mate.
And of course, we're massively indebted to our owner, of course, Maxim, for doing what he does. And of course, the transfer window, it didn't start yesterday. We got James Hill through the door. We got Ethan Laird. Laird, I think, is coming back to fitness pretty soon. James Hill's got his first minutes against Barnsley the other day. I nearly said Hull, mate, because for some reason
keep saying Hull, don't you?
I don't know why.
This guy's quite near each other, mate. To be fair,
ish. Then North, and of course, it was also sad to say goodbye to Cookie, of course, who's at Nottingham Forest, and a certain ex-Cherry's going to be joining him as well.
Sam Surridge has gone there. I mean, I don't know what's happened at Stoke there. They've got rid of him straight away. And they've lost money, by the sounds of it. Yeah. So that was an odd one. It obviously didn't work for him there, which is a shame. He's a Bournemouth lad. I wanted it to work for him at Stoke. It sounds like, I said it on the show last night, it sounds like they liked him when he came in, and then quite quickly it changed to what we said about him, which was he's an honest lad. He works his nuts off. He puts himself about. He makes a nuisance of himself. Maybe he hasn't quite got the quality. I hope it works for him at Forest. Yeah, really weird. They've signed Steve Cook from us. They've let Lyle Taylor, a former Bournemouth player, go to Birmingham to replace him with an ex-Bournemouth player, Sam Surridge, to play alongside an ex-Bournemouth player in Lewis Graben. That Friday night at the Vitality, mate, you could potentially have Graben and Surridge leading the line with Steve Cook at the back. So be an interesting one. But I'm pleased for him. I still look at Sam Surridge and personally think he should maybe go League One and try and I think he could be a 4. I think he's one of them players that's maybe too good for League One but not quite got it to start in the Championship every week, but there's no kind of gap. But he's an honest working lad, and I really hope that he takes his chance here. It obviously didn't work at Stoke, but all the best to him, and all the best to Forest, to be fair, mate. If there's a chance we can both go up, I'd really like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark McAdam tweeted today that Scott Parker said in his presser he expected deadline day to be busy, but I didn't expect it to be that busy, he said. I don't think a Championship side has ever had a better deadline day, ever. The board have backed him, now time to deliver. Couldn't say it any better. Tom, out of 10, where are you at with this transfer deadline day? I mean, maybe Tom Lawrence as well would have made it a 10, or is that being greedy?
It is, mate. I'm going to give it an 11. It was just ridiculous. I mean, as you say, there was talk about kind of players that maybe we were linked with that didn't come to fruition. I still think they would have just been either one of the ones we got. I don't think we definitely don't need more bodies. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, Tom Lawrence might have come in if we didn't get Todd Cantwell. Bowler might have come in if we didn't get Dembele. Similar with Karoma, who was linked. So yeah, I think there was Nico Williams maybe if we didn't get Laird, and different things. But we got the numbers, we got the quality. And I think Scott Parker's probably alluding to someone like a Tom Lawrence and Nat Phillips that come available quite late by the sounds of it. But amazing window. We were the big boys in the window, including the Premier League. I mean, Newcastle, Eddie ran, had a bit of a competition with us, but us two were the main guys. And yes, but it was really, really good one, and we're the ones most people are talking about, which is strange as a Bournemouth fan.
Love it.
And even the ones outside of it, like you mentioned, Sam Surridge there, Defoe, ex-Bournemouth, he went back to Sunderland, so it felt. And then the other club was Newcastle, was Eddie Howe. Very Bournemouth heavy, but that's how we like to say it. Massive club.
What can people do if they like this video? Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You can press that symbol there. Press the thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it.
Click the subscribe as well.
Yes. Oh yes, forgot about that.
Definitely click the subscribe.
I always forget to mention that.
You do, and the bell and all that good stuff as well. Really appreciate it. Last night was great, wasn't it? Yeah. The feedback has been really good, and just the engagement throughout the night. I mean, we were on for 3 hours, but it was so much fun. Yeah. So much fun, flew by, and the engagement and the numbers we had watching live was amazing. So really appreciate it.
Content wise, it's coming out of our ears. Stay tuned tomorrow for our Barnsley away day review. Do you fancy wearing the same clothes when we come here tomorrow, mate?
Yeah, I might, mate. Yeah, I might just. Yeah, I might wear that because I like to do that. I think if I'm coming back to the same place, obviously the next day.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, I need to, and then I'll have a fresh pint because obviously I've just come in.
Yeah,
I've just come in. But I mean, or if you want, I'll roll the sleeves up, take the hat off, make it look a bit different. No, yeah, looking forward to it, mate. Let's talk about Barnsley, which was a win. Remember?
Yeah, it was a win. Happy Tuesday, AFC Bournemouth fans. Up the chairs.
Up the chairs.